In a world accustomed to royal secrecy, Princess Ameerah's unexpected revelations have sent shockwaves far beyond the walls of Brunei's royal palace. Her public silence on her family's complex dynamics has long intrigued fans, but now she's finally speaking out, lifting the veil on secrets that have remained hidden for years. Her statements hint at untold stories involving her father, Brunei's King Hassan al-Bolkiah, and her long separation from her mother. As she shares her side, Princess Ameerah's words are leading many to wonder, what does she really want the world to understand? Join us for this riveting tale of unveiled secrets that shocked everyone. The royal family of Brunei, led by Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah, is one of the most influential and wealthiest monarchies in the world. With an estimated personal fortune of over $20 billion, the Sultan's wealth and opulent lifestyle have long attracted global attention. His strong hold on power has allowed him to rule unchallenged for over half a century. The Sultan's reign is marked by both privilege and conservatism. Yet, beyond the headlines of his immense wealth lies a complex family structure that speaks volumes about the dynamics within the royal household. Sultan Hassanal has had several marriages and many children from these unions. His oldest son, Crown Prince Al-Muhtadi Billah, is his heir apparent, positioned to carry on the dynasty's legacy. However, the royal family tree extends much wider, with numerous children and grandchildren, each carrying a unique story within the walls of Brunei's Grand Palace. Among these children is Princess Ameerah, born to the Sultan's former wife, Azrinaz Mazhar Hakim, a former Malaysian journalist. Azrinaz and the Sultan married in 2005, but their union was short-lived. They divorced in 2010, and with this separation, Azrinaz was reportedly removed from the palace and separated from her children. Ameerah and her brother, Prince Abdul Wakil, were left to be raised within the palace under the direct influence of their father. The divorce not only altered Ameerah's family life but also impacted her understanding of what it meant to be a royal child under the Sultan's rule. The royal family operates within a tightly controlled environment where loyalty and tradition often come before personal expression. Each family member is expected to adhere to codes of conduct that reinforce the image of Brunei's monarchy as both unbreakable and morally authoritative. The Sultan is known for his strict governance and imposes traditional values within the family, reflecting Brunei's deeply conservative Islamic laws. There is little room for deviation. This environment shapes every aspect of the royal children's lives, from their education and public appearances to the personal choices they are allowed to make. While the Sultan's leadership is respected within Brunei, his relationships with his family are reportedly complex. Marriages, divorces, and separations have influenced family dynamics, with children from different unions often growing up with divided loyalties. For Princess Ameerah, growing up in such an environment has likely been a blend of privilege and restraint, where personal desires must often be kept private to protect the monarchy's public image. Within this rigid structure, Princess Ameerah's recent decision to share her thoughts publicly, hinting at previously hidden struggles and reflecting on her family's inner workings, is nothing short of remarkable. Her statements break from the silence traditionally upheld by the royal family and shed light on the personal sacrifices and struggles often masked by the grandeur of royal life. Ameerah's experience as a princess under the Sultan's watchful eye provides a unique lens into the Brunei royal family's values, hierarchy, and the pressures faced by those born into one of the world's most secretive monarchies. Princess Ameerah experienced a unique childhood marked by immense privilege and strict tradition. Her education was paramount from the beginning. Like her siblings, she was tutored in various subjects considered essential for a future leader. Her schooling combined Islamic studies with traditional academic subjects, including language, history, and mathematics. Her father emphasized the importance of a strong moral and educational foundation to ensure she was prepared for public life and eventual responsibilities within the monarchy. She was also taught etiquette, cultural protocols, and the history of Brunei's royal family, lessons that were reinforced through daily interactions within the palace. Homeschooled with top educators brought to the palace, Ameerah's academic journey was largely isolated from the outside world. Her handful of classmates were limited to a select few, and every aspect of her learning environment was carefully controlled. Her upbringing reflected the royal family's conservative values and her father's desire to shield her from external influences. Princess Ameerah's life, while steeped in tradition, has always hinted at an undercurrent of complexity. Her recent revelations are reshaping perceptions of one of the world's most secretive monarchies and offering unprecedented insight into a life lived behind gilded walls. Unnecessary exposure to outside influences. Although she was afforded the best tutors and facilities, her education was rooted in a specific purpose, to groom her for the demands of royal life while ensuring she remained aligned with the family's cultural and religious principles. From a young age, Ameerah was also taught the significance of public appearances and ceremonial roles. One of her earliest experiences in the public eye came when she accompanied her father at state functions, dressed in traditional Brunei attire. These events were her introduction to the world of royal duty, where every gesture, smile, and interaction was part of the larger image that the monarchy projected to its people. As she grew older, Ameerah was often seen at more formal events, whether attending religious gatherings or representing her family at national celebrations. With these responsibilities, Princess Ameerah's early years were a blend of privilege and intense expectation. Unlike most children, her life was woven into the fabric of Brunei's national identity. Her role required composure and adherence to tradition, and despite her youth, she appeared confident and composed in public settings, a reflection of her training and her understanding of the importance of upholding the family's reputation. Yet beneath the outwardly flawless life of a young princess lay the challenges of growing up in a strict environment, especially after her parents' divorce. Ameerah's separation from her mother impacted her deeply. Ameerah's understanding of family dynamics was shaped solely by her father's perspective and the influences within the royal household. This shift reinforced her sense of duty to the monarchy but likely also stirred questions about loyalty, independence, and her role within a family divided by tradition and personal differences. As she continued to mature, Ameerah's awareness of the expectations surrounding her only grew, ultimately shaping her into the poised yet introspective figure the public sees today. Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah and Azrinaz Mazohakim's divorce was a seismic event within Brunei's royal family. Azrinaz, a former Malaysian journalist, had married the Sultan in 2005. They had 2 children, Ameerah and her younger brother Prince Abdul Wakil. By 2010, their union came to an abrupt end. Though the details of the split were kept tightly under wraps, the royal divorce was significant. It reshaped the lives of the Sultan and Azrinaz and also altered the future of their young children, especially Ameerah. For Ameerah, her parents' divorce meant more than just the end of a family unit. It introduced her to the complexities of royal duty and loyalty at a young age. Following the divorce, Azrinaz was reportedly removed from the royal palace and stripped of her royal title. The Sultan's strict adherence to tradition and his influence over the royal family ensured that Azrinaz's departure was swift and decisive. As per Brunei's conservative protocols, Azrinaz was effectively cut off from palace life, with limited access to her children, who were left in the care of the Sultan. This sudden separation from her mother created a profound emotional gap that would shape her childhood. Ameerah was left to cope with the absence of her mother in the highly controlled and conservative environment of the royal palace. The Sultan's decision to sever Azrinaz's ties to the palace meant that Ameerah's access to her mother was significantly limited. With her mother no longer present, Ameerah's emotional support came solely from within the confines of the palace, where loyalty to the Sultan and Brunei's traditions took precedence over personal needs. The royal family's approach to the divorce was deeply embedded in Brunei's values. For Ameerah, this meant that any questions or emotions regarding her mother had to be kept private. She learned to internalize her struggles and present a composed exterior, even as she dealt with the complexities of a fractured family. The experience taught her early on that the public image of the monarchy superseded personal grievances, a reality that few people outside of royal circles fully comprehend. The separation from her mother also created a social and emotional distance between Ameerah and the life Azrinaz had known outside the palace walls. Cut off from her mother's influence and upbringing, Ameerah's childhood was shaped almost entirely by the Sultan's worldview. Following the divorce, Azrinaz frequently expressed her love and longing for her children through social media. Her posts, though carefully phrased, alluded to her wish to reconnect and her deep sadness over the limited access she had to her children. For Ameerah, the visible expressions of her mother's longing added an emotional layer to her own experiences. Though separated physically, there remained a bond between mother and daughter, even if they could not openly express it. Ameerah's strained relationship with her father over the years has been a point of speculation. Whispers of tension between Princess Ameerah and her father have cast a spotlight on the complex dynamics within Brunei's royal family. Growing up without her mother's daily presence undoubtedly left its mark on Ameerah as she transitioned from childhood to adolescence. Her father's expectations became a guiding force in her life, instilling in her a strong sense of duty to uphold Brunei's royal image. However, the disconnect created by her mother's absence and the rigid structure of palace life meant that Ameerah faced challenges that many of her peers outside the royal world could scarcely imagine. Ameerah's absence was particularly striking, especially given her position as the Sultan's daughter and her active involvement in public duties. While no official explanation was provided by the palace, some insiders hinted at Ameerah's complex relationship with her father and the possible impact of long-standing familial issues, particularly her mother's absence from palace life. Those close to the royal family suggested that Ameerah's absence might reflect deeper, unresolved feelings related to her family dynamics, possibly indicating a subtle form of resistance or quiet independence from palace traditions. Her non-attendance was seen by some as a symbolic gesture, a way for Ameerah to assert her individuality within a tightly controlled environment where adherence to family expectations is paramount. Others speculated that Ameerah's decision was rooted in personal conflicts with Prince Mateen himself. Although Ameerah has maintained a respectful public image and shown loyalty to the family in her official duties, there have been whispers of sibling rivalries within the palace. Growing up in a royal household where public image is carefully managed, Ameerah's absence from such an important event has raised questions about her relationship with her younger brother and whether her absence was indicative of personal disagreements or differing outlooks on family obligations. Ameerah's absence may also speak to her evolving perspective on royal life. Her actions suggest a quiet defiance, an attempt to redefine her role within the family while upholding her personal values. Over the years, Ameerah has shown dedication to her public duties, yet she has also hinted at her own identity beyond the boundaries of palace walls. Her choice to miss Prince Mateen's wedding reception may signify her desire to distance herself from certain royal expectations, a move that subtly challenges the narrative of royal unity. For a princess raised in an environment that values compliance, this absence could represent her quiet effort to balance personal agency with her royal obligations. Many saw Ameerah's decision as a courageous assertion of independence. Media outlets and fans interpreted her absence as an indication of deeper unresolved family issues. For a princess in a conservative monarchy, such a choice speaks volumes, hinting at her desire for a life defined not solely by tradition but by her own values and perspective. In a rare and unexpected move, Princess Ameerah has recently broken her long-standing silence and offered the public a glimpse into her life and the complexities of being a member of Brunei's royal family. Her statements, whether through social media, interviews, or subtle public actions, hint at a side of her that was previously hidden and unveil the nuanced challenges she has faced within palace walls. Recent interviews have revealed a young woman deeply reflective about her upbringing, speaking cautiously but openly. Ameerah alluded to the sacrifices required of her as a royal child and the emotional cost of growing up in a highly controlled environment. For the first time, she hinted at her personal struggles, including the absence of her mother. Her words suggest a maturity developed through years of navigating a life few can fully understand. One of the most shocking aspects of Ameerah's recent revelations is her acknowledgement of the strict expectations placed upon her. While she has always been seen as a loyal figure in the Brunei royal family, she subtly revealed that balancing duty with personal identity has been a lifelong challenge. She described growing up within a structured world where individual desires were often secondary to palace protocol and public image. Her statements reflect a depth of self-awareness, revealing a young woman who has wrestled with questions of personal freedom, family loyalty, and the sacrifices necessary to uphold her royal role. Ameerah also alluded to the complex dynamics within her family. She spoke carefully about the importance of unity while hinting at the emotional toll of maintaining public harmony. She expressed admiration for her family's values and traditions but noted the difficulty of navigating familial relationships under the scrutiny of royal life.